Hello, welcome back to Farmers Wife Homestead. Who am I? I'm Stacey. If this is the first time we're meeting, and welcome to my channel. And hello back to all my other lovely friends who have been around for a while. I'm back. About 7 days of isolation / COVID. So the house is doing way much better now, and I nipped into town to stock up on some fresh fruit and veggies. So that was really good to go and do that. So I spent about $100 on fruit and veg. Now, while I was there, I went into Pack and Save, which is it's a big, supermarket store over here, and I grabbed two whole chickens. They are 1.9 kilos, and they are raised in New Zealand, no hormones added, cage free, whole chickens. Now they are $14.99, so basically $15 each. And so for $30 I got these two chickens, and what I decided to do was cook these up. We're going to have roast chicken tonight with some of the veg that I got today. Like Pack and Save had pumpkins for $3 each. They were quite small, but I still grabbed a couple. And we're going to have roast chicken for dinner tonight, and then with all the leftovers I decided I'm going to try and see what I can do with the rest of it. So if you needed some meals in a pinch and you had $30 or even $15 to go and get one chicken, you could come up with some different meal ideas from leftover chicken. Sometimes you can grab rotisserie chickens really cheap. I know Costco have $7.99 chickens. Well, they're $7.99 over here in New Zealand. I'm not sure how much they are overseas, but those chickens are massive. In fact, they're probably around about this size, maybe slightly smaller. Beautiful chickens. Anyway, I digress. So what I plan to do is make tonight's meal. There's 3 of us at home, 3 adults. My husband only eats once a day. He doesn't eat breakfast or lunch because he's working all day long, and he'll come in and he'll have his main meal, and he basically has 2 helpings. So you could say that every night, or most nights, I'm cooking for 4 to 5 depending on who's here. So we're going to do the roast tonight, and I will show you the serving at the end, and then over the next day or two I'll make up some other things with the chicken, and we'll see what else we can come up with to help stretch our dollar further. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. What else? I had one other thing to say, and what was that? Let me know down in the comments below if you are interested in me grabbing, because I was trying to decide whether to keep one whole and cook it whole, and keep one and cut it down into pieces, and then use those pieces from raw. Then I decided I'm just going to cook them both and go from there. But if you're interested in learning how to cut down, I'm trying to think of the word for it, but I can't think of the word for it. I just can't. So breakdown? Yeah, if you want to see how I break down a chicken, let me know in the comments below, and I'll grab another one of these next time I'm in town, and I will show you how to do that. We can, I can teach you how to spatchcock, which is take the backbone out and then flatten it. That way you can cook a roast chook real quick. Or I can show you how to bone one out. Okay, so let me know. So I'm just going to basically pop a bit of salt and pepper on. I love lemon pepper seasoning on this as well, but I'm waiting for lemon season to start so I can dehydrate some more lemon skins rather than buying them out of season. I'm just going to pop that in a 180 oven and cook that for about an hour and a half. There's the 2 roasted chooks. Okay, so here we have a serving of the roast chook. So it's quite a lot of chicken there. A couple of pieces of pumpkin and some peas, and the garlic carrots and some mashed potato. So it will be serving tonight's meal, or the chicken will be serving 4, because as I said, hubby will have 1 serving and then will more than likely have a second. Yeah. Just going out today is really taking it out on me, but getting this good meal, lots of veg will do us real good. So still got quite a bit of chicken left, and when that's cooled down I will pull that apart and we'll see what I come up with tomorrow. Good morning, welcome back. It's another day, and I'm feeling much better, just even overnight, and dinner was delicious. All the veg was just what we all needed. Now I've got a big, sorry, I'm just unwrapping it, big bowl of chicken still left. I gave husband like a couple of legs last night and the wings, because you don't really get a lot out of the wings, but there's just heaps of big chunks of breast here. We'll probably make a sweet and sour chicken with rice, so we'll make that recipe up, but I will freeze that, and then I thought for dinner tonight we could have a chicken pot pie. Usually I just buy, use pre-made pastry and just cut out a shape, like a round shape, or even a square. It doesn't really matter. It's what I can be dependent on it. Like if I do it square, then there's no wastage. If you do a shape, you've got wastage. So I'll probably do a square, just cut the little sheet into 4, and then instead of having pastry on the bottom as well, I just do the filling and then bake off the pastry and pop the pastry on top, and that's just a real cheats way of making chicken pot pie. So I've got some cream that I really need to use up, so we'll have that for dinner tonight. The husband's not a fan of chicken, so he'll just have to suck it up to have chicken 2 nights in a row. And I'll just serve that with probably mashed potatoes and some veg, like some steamed broccoli and collie, and maybe some beans or something like that. And we'll see how much chicken is left after I make those, or after we make those 2 meals together. And then I might see if I can make something. I've got something in mind to make a quick lunch as well. So yeah, we'll see how many other meals I can come up with, what I've got left. Alright, so I will prep up some veggies for the next 2 meals and we will go from there. Right, I'm just going to grab a veggie scrap bowl because I'm going to make a stock. I know for sure I'm going to make a stock with the bones and veggie scraps. I brought some pumpkins pretty cheap, so I think I might make a pumpkin soup with the stock that I make. So right now I'm cutting up some onion for the sweet and sour. So once you've got your onion in half, I'm just going to cut it that way, and what it does is it makes chunks like that, and then you just peel the chunks off so that they're all separated. So this is how I make my sweet and sour. And it's a bit thick, so I'll just slice that down there. Hope you're all well, and we've now hit autumn here, still getting the beautiful warm days, but with the much cooler nights, which is so much nicer for sleeping. So I've just got a container over here to prep it all, and I'll pop in some of my garlic pucks as well from the freezer. I'll just grab that. I'm running low, so I need to process some more. So I'll pop a couple in there and a couple for the sweet and sour. So I will do probably, maybe, depends on the onions. I'll have a look after this, but maybe 3 onions, 3 medium onions, and then I'm going to slice up some carrot. So for the carrots, I just sort of cut them on the diagonal so that you've got a piece that looks like that and about that thick. And I've just turned around and there's a rooster that's just walked into my kitchen. Yeah. Shoo. The other day he was found in the bedroom. So I'm just going to cut all these up, and then I'll come back to you once I have diced some more onion, and I'm going to dice some carrot for the chicken pot pie. Also, you could add any other veg you want to this basic sauce. Now I'm going to have to write out a recipe for this because I usually just put a glug of this and a dash of that. So yeah, bear with me and I will write a recipe so that you guys can follow. But my style of cooking, as you may have seen from the $50 video, is that I freehand my cooking. So yeah, so peppers like capsicums would be good in this. Not a huge fan of them myself, but I don't have any at home at the moment. Snow peas, what else? You could put zucchini in if you wanted to. Yeah, so but for me I just put the pineapple, carrot and the onion, and that's how we have it. So I just want just a smaller dice for the chicken pot pie. So I've just got to dice these carrots, but I've got this much scraps to start with, so I'm going to give them a quick wash. And I brought a whole heap of celery yesterday because it was $2 for this massive huge bunch, so I brought 3 bunches. And for what I already have in the freezer, I'll just dice up what I brought yesterday, and that's going to be my year's supply of celery through the whole of the winter for all the soups and casseroles and things like that that I may need it in. So it's just, it's just a simple way of saving money. It's buying in season. I cannot stress enough how important it is to buy in season, and you know, get it while it's at its cheap price, and then try and preserve it in some sort of way so that you may use it all out throughout the rest of the year until it comes back in season again. I mean, you know, I know that you probably know that, but I just can't stress enough that how much that saves us money. Okay, so I'm going to give this a wash, grab the bones, chuck it into a pot. Should I pressure cook it? Yeah, I might actually pressure cook it this time. It'll be a lot faster, and we'll make up the pumpkin soup today as well. Yeah, so I'll get that going. Of course, you can make this just in a pot. Just put everything in a pot and then cover it with water, and it'll do the same thing. Just taking out any onion skins that don't look the nicest. I think I've got them all. There's a couple of minky ones on the bottom here. Then I'm just going to grab the chicken breast, the bones. And cover that with water and put some apple cider vinegar and some salt in there. So you can put some herbs in there as well, like thyme and rosemary, anything like that, but I'm not going to bother. Now I'm just going to pressure cook this for, I'll go with 40 minutes. Manual. So for these, because these carrots are quite little cute carrots, I'm just going to go in half and then down the length that way, and then just make dices. I'm just going to do that with all of the carrots for the chicken pot pie. I was thinking before I'll be able to use some of the chicken stock for the chicken pot pie as well. I had to nip away for a couple of hours, so I've come back and the pressure cooker has finished, and it's I've let the steam out, and now we will put together the sweet and sour. I think I'll put together the sweet and sour chicken first. I also grabbed out some English muffins. I got these at our Costco over here, and they're massive. They're so huge compared to the Kiwi English muffins. So we're going to make something with those called what we call subs. Well, that's what we called them growing up when my mother used to make them. But she used to use bread rolls cut in half, you know, like the ones that you make American hot dogs with. But needs must. These are starting to dry out. They've been in the freezer for a couple of months now, so I need to use them up. So we'll make some subs with some of that chicken. And I might just cut up all the... Actually, I'll cut up all the pumpkin first. I used that much of the pumpkin. They're only small pumpkins. They were $3. So this one had a couple of blemishes that I missed. So I needed to use up this one first last night. And so I will quickly take the skin off and take the guts out and grab the stock and just make a pumpkin soup, which would probably, I'd say it'll feed at least 6 servings. I will probably pop it into the freezer into little pottles, and then they're there for single serves when I need something. You see how beautiful that stock is, deep colour. Now I'll grab got about 2 cups of the chicken stock that I'll for chicken pot pie. Now I've got another carrot onion here. I'll just quickly dice that up and pop that into the pot with the stock in it, and some other flavourings that I'll use. I love to put a sweet potato in my pumpkin soups, but I don't have any at the moment. So we'll just make plain pumpkin, and I'll probably use a little bit of that cream as well to make it a creamy pumpkin. And I'll probably add maybe a bit of curry powder as well, just for a little bit of a point of difference. So I'm just going to pop this on the heat. Right, I'm just gonna, pumpkins all in here. I've actually had to take off another cup of stock because it was is just a bit too much in there. In fact, I might even need to take a bit more off. Because I like a thick pumpkin soup, and there wasn't much. There wasn't a lot of pumpkin. So that's 4 cups of stock that I've taken off now, and still have a big pot of soup that will be going. So anyway, grab some garlic, some salt, and I'll put some pepper in there as well. In the meantime, I'm going to get this pan going. Just going to get this pan going with about 2 tablespoons of oil. Just use whichever oil of choice. Just coat the bottom of that. And then I'm going to put the carrots and onions, and it's got the garlic down the bottom there. And we're just going to add a little bit of salt. That'll help sweat down the onions. You don't want to caramelize them. You just want them to sweat down a bit before we go on to the next stage. So we're just going to cook these vegetables until they are not soft. They still have a bit of a bite to them, because I am going to freeze this as well, but regardless of whether I'm going to freeze it or not, you still want to have a bit of a bite to it anyway. I've grabbed myself a jar of my canned pineapple. Of course you can just use a can of pineapple chunks and real pineapple juice. I've got some soy sauce, or you can use coconut aminos, some white vinegar. Feel free to use apple cider vinegar if you prefer, some pepper, a little bit of tomato sauce or tomato ketchup, but you can also use some tomato paste if you prefer. And then we're going to add some brown sugar. And once these vegetables are softened, then we'll start putting all the rest of these ingredients in, and we'll just let it cook in the liquid for a little bit, and then we will grab some corn flour and make a little slurry with a couple of tablespoons of corn flour into some water, and then we'll just drizzle a little bit in here and just thicken up the sauce. And then I'll grab some chicken and just pop some of the cooked chicken in here. Of course you could make this with you know, plain chicken breast that hasn't been cooked. And you could do sweet and sour meatballs. You can make them with pork, mince, beef mince, or chicken if you want. Sweet and sour fish. It's a very, very versatile sauce. And I will do my best to write the recipe out for you. Of course, if you wanted to add capsicum or peppers, you'd add it at this stage now. Snow peas would go really well in this. Even beans. Pineapple. And chuck all that in there. Add a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce with pepper. Now, I'm going to say it's probably about a quarter of a cup of vinegar. I slipped on an onion. And I'll start with a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and we'll go from there. And then, purely because I've got this, I'm going to use the tomato sauce. Oop. And you want a good couple of really big tablespoons of that. And that's what helps give it the pinkiness of a sweet and sour. But of course, if you go to a Chinese, they usually use food colouring. Oh, that smells divine already. Right, because I can see that I'm going to want a bit more liquid in this, so I'm going to use a bit of the stock. Because you want to, make it quite saucy. That's perfect. So I've used about 1/2 cup there. So we're just going to let this come up to heat and boil everything for us, or simmer everything for a little bit until these are a bit more tender. Alright, so that's probably going to take a good 5 to 10 minutes. And then in the meantime, I am going to grab a couple of tablespoons of corn flour. Could use arrowroot powder as well. You could even use flour if you wanted to. So I'm just going to make up a slurry. Okay, I'm just going to grab a tablespoon and let's grab a little bit of the liquid and just tweak it and see, the ratio between the sweet and the sour. Oh, I think I've got that pretty much perfect. Taste buds are a little bit wonky after COVID, but yeah, I think that's perfect. It doesn't need tweaking at all. It's the right amount of vinegar to the brown sugar. So this is just boiling away. I have cut up one of these sides of diced chicken, so we'll add that as well. That's more than enough chicken. And it just shows you how you can pan out a recipe. This is a huge frying pan, so it's way bigger than just a standard frying pan. So as you can imagine, this is quite a big substantial meal with rice on the side. So the best way to know if this is ready is you just want to grab a bit of onion or carrot, whichever, and just give it a try. That's great. It's still got a lot of bite to it, and because this one's for the freezer, by the time you go to cook it up the next time and reheat it, it'll cook down that bit more, if you know what I mean. So we're just going to thicken it up now. Now I'll just add about half of it. And when you thicken it up, the sauce goes quite glossy and it will go more see-through. Yeah, that'll take the whole lot. So if you thicken it up too much, just use a little bit more of that chicken stock that you've got, or water. And if it needs to be a bit more thicker, then obviously add some more cornstarch. So this one is done. Easily be 6 helpings. Now for a little taste test. Taste test. Taste test. Fried brain. One of my most favourites. Yum. Now I want this for dinner. Alright, so I'm going to put it into a bowl to cool down, and then I will pop it into a Ziploc bag, get all the air out of it, and then pop that into the freezer. And we've got a meal for 6. Alright, now to making the chicken pot pie. So same thing, same pan. Well, I'm using the same pan. A couple of tablespoons of oil, going in with the diced onion and diced carrot. I'm just going to grab a couple of ribs of celery and dice up some celery as well. Now with my celery, I always get a peeler and just peel the first layer off, and then you don't get that stringy part of the celery. And I've just been doing that for a long time. So, and then I'll just dice it up. I'm just adding some salt to that diced carrot and onion, and of course the garlic is in there as well. And as soon as I've diced that celery, I'm going to pop it in here now. We're just going to cook them down until they're a little more soft. While I was cutting that up, I thought I should have put celery in that sweet and sour sauce. I love celery in my sweet and sour. So add celery if you've got it. I don't know why I didn't think about it. Pepper. Okay, and we're just going to cook this down for a little while until they're softer. In the meantime, I'm going to grab my chicken again, and I'm going to use the darker meat for the chicken pot pie. So I just think it'll be nicer in the pie. Just taking off the skin. So I'll just dice all this up, and if I need to grab some breast as well, I will grab some breast. Okay, so I've done another whole container for the chicken pot pie, and I still have this much chicken left, so there's quite a bit still left. So I think I've got enough to make two more meals with it. So we've still got the subs to go, and I think I might leave the rest, and that could be for a topping for pizza. So I've got some good browning going on down here in the pan. Just going to grab the stock. And that'll bring up all the yummy flavour on the bottom of that pan. So we're going to add some cream to this as well. If you don't have cream, you could just use milk, or even evaporated milk. But we still need a bit more of the stock. And I'm going to add, for the herbs, I'm going to add some thyme.
I'm going to pop the chicken in there as well. Yep. As you can see, there's lots of chicken in there. I'm also going to add some frozen peas. And I'll add the cream now. Want everything to, I might just quickly check that pumpkin's not quite ready. Heat everything through, you know, warm up the chicken and the peas, and keep continuing to cook the carrot and whatnot, and then I will thicken it up. I usually like to thicken it up with a roux. And I will show you how to do that. I like the flavour of the butter and the flour better in my chicken pot pie than if I was to just do it with corn flour. So it just gives it a depth of flavour, and the flour, it coats everything a lot better. So I'll show you how I do that when it comes to that time. So I'm just going to simmer this away, and then I will, as we're having this for dinner, I will show you what the finished product looks like when we have it for dinner. Right, and I have thought of another idea for another meal with the chicken instead of just chuck it in the freezer, which is another idea. You could get some barbecue sauce, get some chicken, coat the chicken in the barbecue sauce, and then pop it into a Ziploc bag and pop that in the freezer for some chicken pizzas. But I opened up a big huge tin of tomatoes the other night to make bolognese, and I've still got half a tin left, so I thought, oh, I'm going to make chicken nachos. So I'll make up a chicken nacho mix next, and then I'm going to pop that in the freezer, as I have a big bag of nachos that need to be used up soon. So yeah, and then of course we've got the subs as well, so that'll be the pumpkin soup, so the stock for the pumpkin soup, sweet and sour chicken, chicken pot pie, nachos, and the subs. 5. Oh, and the roast, 6. So that's 6 meals from those 2 chickens. So I hope you're sort of seeing the method to my madness about how you can stretch out a little bit of protein over the space of pretty much a whole week. So if you only had that $30, you could eat dinners for a whole week. Easy, because these are very big serving sizes. So you could stretch them out. For instance, the sweet and sour sauce, sweet and sour, you could do a side of cabbage. Now cabbages are like $3 for a big head of cabbage at the moment. So you could just fry off some cabbage and have that on the side. So you could have a smaller serving of the sweet and sour and stretch it for even more if your family's bigger. Alright, we'll come back shortly. Just going to get a spoon and taste the chicken pot pie sauce. Hands are shaking. Oh, that's beautiful. Needs a bit more salt though. Don't like to make my stock or my bone broth too salty, because I like to be able to have control of the broth. And that's all cooked to how I want it to be cooked. Now I'm just going to get equal parts of softened butter and flour. So I've just cleaned out that. So I've got the softened butter and I've grabbed 2 tablespoons, heaping tablespoons of both butter and flour, and I'm just mixing it together. This is the best way of thickening any type of hot kind of meal that you're making that needs to be thickened without making lumps in whatever you're making. So this is how I thicken all my casseroles, stews, all that sort of stuff, and obviously pot pies and that, because you're combining the fat of the butter with the flour. So that's basically it now. Now I'm just going to, I'll show you, I'll add it and then I'll just stir it through. The butter gives it a beautiful richness. You can see how it's already thickening that up. I've just got it turned down a little bit to a simmer. So give it a really good stir. Not a lump in sight. Grab the other tablespoon worth. And obviously you just add a bit more if you need more. And if you go too far and it's too thick, then grab a bit more water or chicken stock or cream. That looks pretty good to me. I like it really, really, really thick. I would probably even like it a bit thicker than that. So I'm just going to cook it down for a little while. Oh, my ears just popped. I can hear better. Gosh, I hope I haven't been yelling through this whole video. Oh yeah, now see, that's perfect. Oh, I wish you could smell this. Done. That's perfect thickness for a chicken pot pie. Nothing worse than a runny chicken pot pie. So I will serve, get a couple of spoonfuls, put it on the plate. Put it on the plate with some a square of pastry on top of it, and then mashed potato and side veg. I've just popped it into a casserole dish, and then I'll pop it in the oven and heat it later on. In the meantime, the soup is ready, so I am just going to use my stick blender and I'll stick blend that, and then I've still got just under 2 cups of stock left. I do want to add cream to this, but if it's too thick, then I can use a bit more of the stock. Okay, let's make the chicken nachos. I'm trying to rack my brain because I've got 6 meals and I want to stretch it to a week's worth. So I reckon you could easily dial back on some of that chicken, because as you can see the servings have been really big, and make something else because you've got that stock left over. So maybe another soup, like even a chicken noodle soup with some of that stock and just a few noodles and a bit of carrot, and yeah, that'll work well. So the diced tomato into the saucepan. I'm going to use my dehydrated onion. purely because I can't be bothered chopping more onions. So I'm just going to get that much in there. Grab some garlic. Why not? Use the last one. Some oregano. Apparently I say that differently to what some people say. A little bit of thyme. And I'm going to put some taco seasoning in here. Right, apparently I'm out of my mix, so I will just pop in some cumin. And, oh, that was coriander. This is the cumin. And I've got some coriander flakes as well. And I've just grabbed a tin of red kidney beans. You could put 2 in there if you wanted to bulk it up even more, but for today I'm just going to add the 1. Just drained that. Just mix everything around. As you can see, I've used minimal other ingredients to make the rest of these meals, so just use whatever veg you have on hand. You can use, you know, utilize your frozen veg, your fresh veg obviously, and just, you know, really shop your pantries and your freezers and your fridges. So I'm just going to grate the chicken. So this is actually quite a lot of chicken. It's almost a full thing. So you could halve this and then make that chicken stretch out for that 7th meal. 100% you could. Because look how much this is made. And of course, if you want chili powder, you put chili powder in there as well. Now with all my tomato products, I like to add a little bit of acidity in the way of balsamic vinegar. And some brown sugar. So there's the chicken nacho bean mix. I haven't heated this through because there's no point in cooking in it. Everything's already cooked. So I am just going to pop this straight into a freezer bag and pop that into the freezer, and you'll have it with corn chips and you know, sour cream and cheese on top, whichever you like. But that's another meal done. Right, for this last one I've got about 4 cups of cheese, grated cheese, whatever type you want to use. I'm grabbing a small onion and dicing it thinly. This is for the subs, so this makes a good Sunday night dinner or a nice lunch. So we're going to pop that into the yarn. And the great thing about this recipe is you can mix and match and use whatever you've got. Grab the chicken. So pre-shredded and diced that. Now chopped ham is quite nice in there. And I'm going to grab a couple tablespoons of mayo. And 1 egg yolk. So 1 egg yolk. and I like to add pineapple as well. So you can see where the ham is nice in it as well. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of the juice in there. Pesky fly. And I'm just going to dice some pineapple. Of course, if you don't have pineapple, you don't have to have it. And we're going to pop that in there as well. You could put spring onions, peppers, chilies, whatever you want. Okay, and you're just going to give it a really, really thorough mix. Actually, quite often put diced tomato in here. Fresh tomato is really nice too. But we're just going to keep it fairly limited, so I can see that that's still too dry, so I'm just going to use a little bit more of the pineapple juice to and we're just going to add some salt and pepper as well. Right, so mix that up and then we'll show you the next step. Okay, so there's the mixture. That's quite a big bowl, so that is going to easily be enough for this. Easy. So now I'm just going to grab, I'll just do one and slice them. And just put some of the mixture over the top, try and cover the whole of the bread. So I've still got heaps left, so it's probably do even more than that packet. And then I'm just going to pop it onto a tray and pop it into the air fryer. I've got a little air fryer oven. So I'm just going to toast that and I'll bring it to you when it's finished. Right, here they are. So delicious and great for using up any older bread that you've got in the freezer or anything like that, because when you toast it, oh, you can't even see that. It's great to use for any older bread in the freezer because you're toasting it, it makes it freshen up again. So yeah, as you can see, it used not a lot of that ingredients, still got a massive amount left, so that's easily a Sunday night dinner or a weekend lunch, or even great for the school lunch box. They'd be lovely cold. Right, now this has cooled down a little bit. I'm just going to have a little bite, show you. Oh, so delicious. And another great way to use up some leftover chicken. So just to recap, we had roast meal and we had 4 servings of that, and then we made the sweet and sour chicken for the freezer, and that has at least 5 to 6 servings in that. The chicken pot pie, that would be probably another 5 to 6 servings. And what else did we make? The pumpkin soup, and probably about 5 servings for that. The toasties, they would have made quite a lot. So yeah, I'd say enough for dinner and for some school lunches. What have I forgotten? Roast, sweet and sour. Oh, the nachos. Yeah, so the nachos as well. And I definitely think that with the leftover chicken stock, you could make up another soup, like I'd make up another chicken noodle soup. So there would be 7 meals for those 2 chooks. So I hope you got some really good ideas out of that. Okay, so that's dinner all done and ready. I just heated that up in the oven. Try not to stir it too much because then the chunks of chicken sort of disintegrate, but so that's like two helping spoonfuls. I've got an extra for dinner tonight, so but as you can see there's plenty enough there. And so I just thawed out a square of the pastry and I cut it into 4, brushed it with some milk and some sesame seeds on top. And then all I do is that. And as you can see, there's still heaps there. Easy 6 servings, adult size. Alright, the pumpkin soup, I can't find this part of my thing. It's not in the basket that I keep it in, so I'm not sure where it is. So I'm going to let that cool down and I will blitz it in my Thermomix, but I want to cool it down first. So but in the meantime I want to finish up this video so I can edit it and have it uploaded for you tomorrow. But I will show you what the soup and the chicken pot pie looks like for dinner tonight. I might not be able to do any talking because hubby might be home and relaxing and watching a bit of the news or whatever by then. I have had a request, so I'm just going to bring it up, from Philippa Freeman, and she is a fellow Kiwi. In fact, we grew up in the same area, which was the Wairarapa, and she contacted me and we've been chatting away, and she's a very, very keen preserver. In fact, she once did a 365-day challenge where she preserved something every day for a whole year, and she tells me she did that in honour of her grandparents. I'll just double check. Of both my grandmothers who passed away, and I couldn't get back to New Zealand, so that's super sad. But what an amazing challenge to do for yourself and to carry on obviously some of their traditions and things. So Philippa has asked me if I could please give a shout out, a special hello to Jean, who is like her adopted Australian mum over there. Sorry, because they moved to Australia. So hi Jean, Philippa reached out and she wanted me to say hello to you and thank you so much for putting her onto my channel. She's thoroughly enjoying it, as I hope you are too. So yeah, please feel free to message me. I'm keeping up so far with all the comments. My gosh, I've had so many comments. It's actually taken me an hour every morning just to do the overnight comments, and then I do them through the day, and I will keep trying to do try and answer your comments and stuff for as long as I possibly can. So anyway, I will show you the rest of the footage once it's done, but in the meantime, thank you heaps for joining me today. I feel like I'm very hot and sweaty. Again, I've had to close everything up for the flies. I hate flies. I really have to invest in some screens for the windows. Knees not too bad, but it's a little bit sore. But anyway, I'm not complaining. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care for now. Bye.